You're listening to the Greeks Gridiron, live with Ethan Hristodoulou.
Welcome back, everybody, to more of the Greeks Gridiron. I am Ethan Hristodoulou, and today, as I battle through whatever this illness is that's completely shattering my voice, I am coming at you guys with another edition of This Week in the USFL, going over a couple of news stories that popped up the last few days here. A little bit of a slower week for the USFL in terms of news, but a couple of things I did definitely want to talk about with you all and hear your thoughts and opinions down in that comment section below. So comment away as we're talking. I would love to hear your perspective as well. Starting off with the first story here, Bryan Scott was announced to be leaving the USFL by the CFL's Toronto Argonauts. He will be playing quarterback for them this upcoming season. If you did not know or maybe forgot about him, Bryan Scott was the initial QB1 of the Philadelphia Stars. He wound up going down with an ankle and knee injury against the Houston Generals in a 24-16 loss that the Stars went on to lose after he went down. This is definitely a bit of a hit as far as star power at the quarterback spot for the USFL. I don't want to sit here and act like it wasn't a big deal because at the time when Bryan Scott was playing, I've got to say, he looked really good and was emerging as one of the best quarterbacks in the USFL at the time. I mean, when you look at the numbers here, in the 3 games he had, he was 60 of 58, 558 yards, 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, not to mention some of the rushing yards he was grabbing as well on a few scrambles. Bryan Scott looked really good and was really looking like, again, early on, as probably the best quarterback, if not among the best, within the USFL. So this is definitely a loss because Bryan Scott was a really good player. However, when you look at the Philadelphia Stars QB room right now, you obviously have Case Cookus, who took over the reins for Bryan Scott once he went down with his injury. He ended up taking the Stars all the way to the USFL championship game and that loss to the Birmingham Stallions. You still have Mississippi State quarterback KJ Costello in the room and Washington quarterback Kevin Thompson as well. So while it is a tough loss, I don't really think the Stars are hurting too much, and this is probably something that they kind of saw coming as well. A little bit disappointing that maybe, we couldn't have seen Bryan Scott moving on to another team within the USFL. I think that would have been fun to see him, especially if it was a team that was in the North and you got to play your former team a couple of times. That would have made for some nice storylines and situations to see the former QB playing his old team. But regardless, I want to wish Bryan Scott the very best. He was absolutely electric while he was playing in the USFL, and it's unfortunate to see him go, but it is what it is. You're going to have to see what he does over in the CFL. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, the Toronto Argonauts, man, hats off to you guys. You got yourselves a really good quarterback here, a guy who looked really good last season, and I'm sure is itching to get back and prove everybody that he was just as good as he was before he went down prior to his knee and ankle injury. The second... I apologize for how bad my voice sounds. It even sounds awful to me. But the second story I have for you all here is focused on quarterback Malik Cunningham of Louisville. This is a very interesting story to talk about here. Now, for those of you that are maybe not paying attention, quarterbacks are getting ready to work through the NFL's combine, not today, but tomorrow, but they are doing interviews and things like that, and Malik Cunningham was available at the podium earlier today, and he was fielding questions from the audience when the question came up about if he was playing in the USFL and what was kind of going on with the situation. Well, I do have the video here, so I'm going to run it for you guys. I first off want to thank Billy Rossetti for giving me permission because it was his video that captured the whole interview's question, and it left a lot of people, I wouldn't say not a lot or more than half, but there was a very solid group of people that I noticed that were reacting to the video, questioning why he was even asked the question. Did the Stallions go ahead and draft him without him being aware of what was going on? Why was his answer, fielded the way it was? So I'll run the video for you guys now, and we can have a quick listen here.
About that, I was actually working out, and then I seen that. And they didn't. I have no question. I don't know what that was. I'm not playing in that. I'm here for the combine and want to play in the NFL.
So again, that was Louisville quarterback Malik Cunningham being asked that question. What's going on with the USFL? Are you going to be playing in the league? And to be honest with you all, I'm not really surprised about the answer that he gave. And I don't really think anyone should be really surprised. Malik Cunningham is an impressive quarterback, dual threat guy, was no slouch in Louisville by any means, 6'1", 190 pounds. He had 7,889 total yards, 62 touchdowns while he was playing. in college. I mean, the guy is a dual threat, an intriguing quarterback. Some people might be a little bit worried about his passing and, he's more of a running quarterback or whatever you want to say. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to just at face value look at him as a prospect and say, this guy is impressive, and I could see a lot of teams being really intrigued in what he is potentially able to do at the next level in the NFL. The other thing we all need to sit back and understand here, for those of you that are like, why is he just writing off the USFL? Well, he's at the NFL Combine. What do you really want him to say? Oh, yeah, man, if this doesn't work out here, I'm going right to the USFL. He is an athlete. He is a competitor. He is a guy that has a lot of teams at least interested in what he could bring to the table here. He's not going to sit here and doubt himself at the podium at the NFL Combine as people are asking him questions about a spring league that, and don't get me wrong, I love the USFL. Spring football is a fantastic opportunity, but that's more so what it is right now. It is something to satiate our football desires while we are waiting for the NFL to pick back up, and they're not competing with the NFL. The USFL is the land of opportunity. It is a place for guys that aren't getting that attention from the NFL to be able to showcase what they can do and then maybe find their way onto an NFL roster come the fall and, summertime as things are getting ready to roll. I'm not surprised by the way he reacted. And to be honest with you, I would have been more surprised if he said anything that was like on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Malik Cunningham is, again, he's a competitor. He played really well at a very big college and has a lot of people talking about him right now. I would be shocked to hear him be doubting the fact that he's going to be in the NFL come this fall in any shape or form. So for him to come out and, say or answer the question the way he did does not really surprise me by any means. Honestly, more of something I would have expected to see from him. I again want to thank Billy Rossetti so much for allowing me to use that video. He is a pro football writer. He is also managing editor of the Jets Wire, and apparently once got asked, "Do you know who I am?" by Lovie Smith. So I think that's pretty funny there. But shout out to him for again giving me the okay to use that video here. As soon as I saw that come out, the first thought was I have to reach out to this guy on Twitter and ask him if I can use this video because it is awesome. And I'm not one to just take somebody's content without asking them. Always got to make sure you get permission. So again, shout out to you, Billy Rossetti. Thank you so much if you end up seeing this. But those are the two news stories I wanted to cover with you guys. Like I said, a very slow week in terms of news for the USFL. Not a lot really going on right now. We've had a handful of big things dropping the last few weeks. So not really too surprising that things have slowed down a little bit. If you haven't, I have a draft recap for the USFL. I have a schedule recap video as well. I did a handful of videos within the last few weeks here all about the USFL. So if this is the first time you're seeing my channel, make sure you go check those out. Give me a like, subscribe, because we're talking USFL as we work our way into the actual USFL season. I'm beyond excited. Really trying to see if I can get myself out to a game this season. I was not able to last year, so I would love to get out to a game, maybe run into some of you all there as well. But that is it for me today. Thank you for listening to my raspy voice as I broke down these couple of things to talk with you guys about. I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one.